Oh, good. It's working. Howdy. I'm Gray Pilgrim. Normally, I like guns. I like guns a lot. I've got a lot of guns. It's just something I do. I collect. I'm a collector by nature. And one thing I like to collect are obscure, obsolete military surplus firearms used in previous wars. Specifically like the ones of mostly the ones of the Civil War and up to about World War I, World War II vintage. Though I do have a few from the Cold War as well. I'm not a big fan of the modern black guns, but I do have one. This is my AR. This is a standard Ruger-made receiver that has a different, I forget where I got the upper. It's got a collapsible stock on it and this skeletonized grip thingy up here. And it's got a Gen 1 Trijicon red dot sight on it. It's a pretty darn nice little rifle. Why am I mentioning that? Well, right now, the ATF, in their infinite wisdom, has decided to ban this thing called pistol braces. Well, I don't own one. I'm not at all interested in one. But that's not the point. Guns, going back to ancient times, usually came with a wooden stock. What if a ATF person, in their infinite wisdom, decided to, by the stroke of a pen, declare that any gun that has wood on it is now illegal? Basically, that's what they did with this pistol brace thing. They had already ruled on it several years ago and said, oh yeah, that's fine. That's just something that disabled veterans can use. And it's a great idea because it helps them stabilize when they have a weak arm or only one arm, or they're, they want to build a pistol that they can use. Well, it's just a wonderful little idea. Look, this is a rant video, if you haven't figured it out by now. I know a little bit about firearms. I've been doing videos on them for a few years now. Those who follow me, thank you, by the way, about 580 some odd folks who actually subscribe to me, which I find just shockingly amazing, and about 100 and some odd more over on BitChute, and a few more on Rumble. I was watching Rumble this morning and watching one of my favorite gunsmiths, a fellow who's an expert at making the big hunting rifles from Africa, and pretty darn good with black powder and a few other obscure sidelines of the firearms world. AR American. If you're ever on Rumble, check him out. I don't think he's still on YouTube, but he is definitely on Rumble. AR American. Damn good fellow. He's not He's not your typical person. He's a backwoods guy like me. A lot of us are not urbanites. We're the ones who built this country. Sweat of the brow thing. We're not the type who felt comfortable in suits. But we're the ones who usually fought and died for it in the wars. And one thing we like doing is going out and making loud noises with our guns. We don't shoot people with them unless we're told to or have to. We don't want to. Darn it, we're just normal folks. But they're making us into some kind of criminals. There's 40 million of those pistol braces out there that the ATF said, oh yeah, those are fine. And then later on, because some geriatric who can't control his bowels is in the White House and decided that he hates guns. By the way, he's the guy who pushed through the 1986 Gun Control Act. Thanks, Joe. And now he's sitting on a lot of kickbacks from his son and illegally stored documents. And we're supposed to believe this clown? And then he's got this diddleback idiot running one of his alphabet agencies, and the Congress isn't doing its job. Period. End of story. We have a Congress for a reason, to create laws. not some Star Chamber fellow sitting up there with his quill pen saying, I decree that this is the way the law is. No, that's not how it works in a democratic republic. That's how it works in a banana republic or a dictatorship. This is not Joe Biden's dictatorship. Damn it. Okay, I'll go back to my showing off my interesting, bizarre, and guns that you probably don't see unless you watch Ian McCollum on Forgotten Weapons. That's the ones that interest me. Early ones, mechanical contrivances that do things that, who understands? Well, I try to. I've got books out the galore on this subject. Oh, by the way, I tell a little lie. That's not my only AR. I do have this paperweight. That's all it is. It's a paperweight. It sits over here underneath the Amazon Fire TV Gen 1 and holds it at the proper angle so I can hit it with my remote. That's what this is to me. It's a paperweight or like a bookshelf, something to hold a book in the right place. I'm not planning on ever finishing this, unless I have to. You know, if the balloon goes up, all bets are off. You know, by the way, my idea of a gun, and this is what I keep in my bedroom closet. This is my Rashid. It's a 10-round 7.62 by 39, and it's a it's unloaded. It was a obsolete design that the Egyptians came up with. There were very few of these, maybe about 5,000 made, and you know, Wikipedia says 8,000. Where do they get their numbers? I know more about this thing than whoever wrote the article on it. Anyway, it's a beautiful old thing, based on the SKS, as you can tell by the looks, but it isn't an SKS. Its parents are the AG-42 Youngman and the later Hakim. That's a Hakim back there. I had an AG-42, but it didn't have space, and I had to give it back. Alas, I wish I had kept it and fixed it. Anyway, that's what sits in my bedroom closet, is there to repel boarders. I like it because it has a 10-round magazine. Why? Because I live in Oregon. And Measure 114 will ban all things that accept more than 10 rounds. Well, that's a full battle rifle, and it accepts 10 rounds. So stay off my land and stay away from me. That's my attitude. Anyway, your next scheduled or regularly scheduled video will be more techie or geek, nerdy, and not so ranty. Have fun.